Just like the sunrise needs the sky, just like the blackbird needs to fly, I gotta have you by my side, 'cause you make me feel alright.
Hello one and all, and welcome along to 5 Half-Time 10 The Winner. We've finally made it, the first episode of 2019. Hope you had a very nice Christmas and a lovely New Year as well. And first one of 2019, and I'm on my own in the studio. What we're going to do, although hang on a minute, Dave, I've got you on the phone line, haven't I?
Yes, I'm here. Is it crackling or is it all right?
No, it sounds okay to me. Yeah, it's our very first remote episode of this podcast.
Yeah, you haven't been too well, so I've stayed away from you.
Yeah, we're keeping the germs separate. I'm feeling a bit better, but we thought...
You sound a lot better than you did the other day when I spoke to you.
Yeah, when we were talking on the phone, I think I was about ready to... You know on Fawlty Towers when Manuel's hungover and he just says, I die here? I was very much like that.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I'm on the mend. But we thought it was probably just safer just to keep it separate for this one, and hopefully we'll get back to normal from next time. Because we did tweet saying life conspiring against us, but we did also promise we'll try and make it up to our listeners. So what we're planning on doing at the moment, I think, is doing another episode next week as well to get things back on track. Is that right?
Oh, lovely, Nick.
I know. We've got some busy few days ahead of us, Dave. Did you have a nice Christmas?
Yep. I did, pretty quiet, you know what I mean? But, all right, yeah, not bad.
Good. Yeah, same here. I didn't even go out on New Year this year. I think rock and roll lifestyle, I was in bed by about 12:30.
New Year's overrated.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work in pubs, and it was always a really good night. But the last few years that I worked in the pubs, it was quiet.
You used to drink in pubs.
I did the lot. Yeah, I did the lot, mate. But no, not so much anymore. Maturing man now, you know. So,
yes, you are.
Yeah.
Family man and all that.
Yeah, it's amazing how it makes you grow up. So, what have you been up to, Dave?
Never mind, you go back to the pub when you've got 2 divorces under your belt. I hope your wife's not. I hope your wife's not listening. I just thought that.
Yeah, my wife almost proofreads every episode, so yeah, she'll be having words with you next time you come over. She's got a little black book especially for you with all the landlady chat.
I think you might be in trouble when she hears this episode.
Already, we're only about 2 minutes in as well, Dave. There's nothing new there.
I know, yeah.
So yes, like I say, I hope everyone had a very nice time.
Not just for Christmas; it's for life.
But you can have more than one, as Dave quite ably proves. So yes,
I hope my 2 ex-misses aren't listening.
You never know. I might tweet them. I might find them and tweet them specifically.
Cheers,
you know. Yeah. Not that I like stirring the pot or anything like that. No, hey, Dave, we're going to be reunited on commentary next week as well.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah. I'm coming in just for the one-off spot, helping you out with the Sunderland Man City game. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. And the topic this week, I'm going to say a name to you. Marcelo Bielsa.
Really? There's a name that's not been all over the internet at the time of recording very recently. Leeds United manager, or head coach, should I say.
He's been up there well. Some people say no good, some people say it doesn't matter. And, I've got my views on it. Don't know whether you have.
Well, he's also known as James Bond. Hang on a minute, actually. Wait there, 2 seconds. There you go. What did you think of that?
Good. You've done well there.
Yeah, I just happened to be prepared with that, actually, just fiddling about with my own little project. So, yes, anyway, sorry, what were you wanting to say about Marcelo Bielsa?
Marcelo Bielsa, I don't think he's done anything wrong, you know. I think he's very thorough. Well, maybe he's a bit too thorough in his preparation, but, I mean, I scouted for Bristol Rovers, Marcus Stewart, assistant manager. I worked for him.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I would go out to watch Bristol Rovers opposition, be it Doncaster, who were there about a fortnight before Bristol Rovers were due to play them, yeah?
Yeah.
You get your scout ticket put on, you're welcomed at the club, you get some food, very nice and all that, but then you are reporting on that team you're going to see for Bristol Rovers. So basically, used to do a big dossier, send it down to Marcus Stewart, big dossier on all their players, what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are, who takes the penalty kicks, what side he puts it to, how far the goalkeeper kicks it, have they got a long throw-in merchant, who does this, who does that.
Who can provide the threats.
Yeah, I don't think Marcelo Bielsa has done anything more than what I was doing in an official capacity as a Bristol Rovers scout.
Well,
what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, Dave, there is a big disagreement here, right? But not from me, from Martin Keown. I actually can't believe we're starting the year off with this. I can see your point there. And as you say, you're the scout. You're going to have a much more in-depth knowledge of how this all works than I do. But yeah, I kind of think if Bielsa's willing to put the work, and obviously the club's putting the money in to arrange this, all the more power to them.
I don't think it was actually Marcelo Bielsa who's been going out and doing it.
No, he's been coordinating it, though.
Staff. Yeah, got to cover ourselves legally.
Oh yeah.
Enough in the pot for our solicitors.
Probably a fair point. But he's obviously coordinated it, and he's certainly not ashamed of it. He came just out and said, he got questioned, did you do it against Derby? And he just said, well, yeah, we'll do it for everybody. And
and
I kind of don't think there's too much of a problem with it. I know, obviously, Martin Keown was very vocal about it.
What did Martin Keown say?
He thinks it's basically scandalous, outrageous. I've got to be careful how I phrase it because I haven't got the article that I read in front of me at the moment. But I know he wasn't happy, and he did admit that there's nothing in the rules, in the laws of the game against it, but there should be, and how it's basically unfair. It's an unfair advantage. My argument to that is, well, it's not an unfair advantage. An advantage is an advantage. It's only an unfair advantage if the opposition don't have the facility to do the same thing themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and totally. And last night, I don't know whether you saw it. Well, it was sort of yesterday at 6 o'clock sort of thing. He called a press conference, and people thought he was going to resign or something like that. And what he did, he did the best PowerPoint presentation I've ever seen on everything to do with all the other championship clubs. So he hasn't just done it against Derby, he's done it against every team they've faced this season.
And I mean, it's showing, though. That sort of preparation is showing. Leeds United top of the championship at the minute, 4 points clear of Sheffield United.
Yep.
It's paying off. I mean, they've been out of the Premier League for a long time. And I dare say a lot of Leeds United fans are going to sort of be on the side that, weirdly, we both are in saying, well, no, the results speak for themselves.
Well, the chant they were singing against Derby on Friday night was, we'll spy when we want. We'll spy when we want. We Leeds United, we'll spy when we want.
So, totally unapologetic there then, like it.
But apparently this is commonplace in Argentina.
I quite believe it. I mean, it's commonplace in a lot of sport. I mean, do you remember a few years ago, Ferrari information was leaked to McLaren ahead of the 2007, I think it was, Formula One season? And there was quite a hefty fine involved, or was there even a prison sentence in that one? I'm not sure. But, I mean, it's...
The only thing that sort of, how can I sort of, doesn't rank with it, but the only bit I'm sort of not comfortable with is if he thought he was... I can't stop laughing about these things. if he thought he wasn't doing anything wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why in his bag was there a change of clothes, some wire cutters and binoculars?
Is that really the case? I didn't see that.
Anything wrong, but that's what they found in his bag, in this member staff's bag, should I say?
You've got to admire the guy, haven't you? He's just... I can't believe that. What sort of scenario did he have in his head?
I know. See me, I go to academy grounds all the time, these scout rules, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And there's normally somebody on the door. They're not the easiest places to get into if you're not sort of booked in, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So maybe security, if they don't want this happening, maybe security, each club's going to have security at the training ground, which they normally do. They normally have a fella in one of them little wooden huts saying, like, who are you, like, where you're from, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The only problem sometimes where academies are built, there's public rights of way for people to, like, walk the dogs and things like that because it's parkland or grassland or something like that.
Yeah.
So members of the general public can walk sort of adjacent to it. So there still probably will be nothing stopping them on the ones that are accustomed like that, with public rights of way and things like that. So he'd probably just be sitting or standing behind a fence with his deer stalker on, his binoculars and his wire cutters,
But I mean, that's how, like, Bolton Wanderers' old ground, that used to be very much like that. It had a train bridge with a footpath or something like that going over the stadium. So you could actually go and...
about training ground.
Oh, yeah, no.
That's where he's been turning up at to watch them training. And I think the big thing was he went to Derby because Harry Wilson, who is on loan from Liverpool, who's been pulling all the strings for Derby, takes all the free kicks, corners, whatever, Good player, actually, Harry Wilson. And Leeds wanted to know, there was a doubt whether he was going to be playing on the Friday night. So they've turned up there on the Thursday and they were wanting to know, was Wilson involved in all these scenarios, free kicks, so that's why they've turned up. And then they've been rumbled,
Yeah, but I mean, again, though, I think if they're going to be that meticulous in preparing for every game, literally all the more power to them, mate. It's wanting to know things like that, you would think it's part and parcel, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I do. I don't say a problem with maybe some of our listeners do. I hope they let us know their views on it,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's sort of, they'll go and check on. It's standard practice. If you're knocking a corner to the far post, it's maybe 2 hands up or something from the corner taker. If you're knocking one to the near post, 1 hand. And I mean, when I was out scouting, you'd see that during games, So
that's
you think on one hand, is there a need for them to be doing this because they could go and watch Derby or whoever the opposition is the week before and get exactly what they want. So why is the need to turn up with your wire cutters and what have you at a training ground? But he's maybe so thorough, he wants to see, if you go and watch Derby a week before, things might change. There might be injuries.
Could be different
there might
teams.
Be, so he's actually wanting to see the day before. So is he just being thorough? Totally thorough, meticulous?
Is this what we're coming up against? Because we've already devised a contingency plan for just about every scenario. And that's the impression I get from him. That he is that sort of always trying to be one step ahead through any means. I've just been looking up, actually, here. There's a one that you might quite enjoy. Another instance of this happening in football.
Right.
Just last year. A Swedish scout was watching the South Koreans prepare in Austria at a training camp.
So this is for the national Swedish team?
That's right, yeah. He used a house near Korea's training base to watch the training sessions, and he used a telescope and a video camera. But word got back to South Korea's coach, so he swapped around the players' shirt numbers to confuse his opponents. And when he was asked about it, the Korean manager said, "It's very difficult for Westerners to distinguish between Asians."
Right. Yeah.
I think, wow. That's okay.
So there's another. So I think it'll go on a lot more than we think. And put it this way, right? You deliver sandwiches, don't you?
I do.
Yep. For a company. Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
correct.
I'm sure your company will look at the prices of rival companies who are making sandwiches or what goes in their filling and things like that, for ideas. You'll look at price and think, oh, they're selling it for that, they're doing it that. So I don't think he's done anything wrong.
No,
now, if it's private land and he's trespassing.
Oh, yeah,
on
that's
that
a
land,
different matter altogether.
It's all getting very legal, this, isn't it?
That's exactly what I was going to say,
If he's trespassing on private land, that's a different matter, because me or you wouldn't be allowed to trespass on private land.
No.
So why should he be allowed? Well, I keep saying him. It wasn't even him. It was a member of his staff.
So be careful with that.
So that's a totally different issue if it's private land.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like I say, I'm actually on your side with that one. I don't think he's done much wrong. He's meticulous. I can see why people might get a little bit upset if they haven't realised it was happening, if they're like closed training sessions and things like that. But even then, like I say, as long as he's within his rights to do it, then really there can't be a lot of fallback on him, can there?
No, not at all. I don't think. And, what I did think is, though, have Leeds United, could this backfire on them? Because they could have got everybody else in the Championship sort of backs up. And I think, other teams will be wanting to beat them and that, and sort of, other teams that haven't been doing these sort of things, they'll be thinking, we'll want to teach them. But let's face it, he's been out at every training session or something, or training sessions of other teams. But Leeds United haven't won every game.
No, well, that's it. I mean, they lost against, who was it? Was it Preston they lost against in the Cup earlier on?
I'm not sure, but I know they haven't won every game, so it hasn't worked every time.
No, that's it. It's not as if it makes them totally infallible. They've won 16 of their 27. So, I mean, it's obviously doing a decent job, but they've lost 5.
So how many times have they been beaten?
They've been beaten 5 times in the league, including back-to-back defeats a few weeks ago. They've drawn 6.
There's another thing. Does he do it for cup matches, or does he just relax for cup matches?
I think
it's not worth the effort. Huh? That'd be impressive. Nobody's asking that, have they?
No, that's a good point, actually. I don't know if I've not read about that.
You know how people... I think we're going to do a future episode on weekend teams in cup competitions.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he bothers in cup competitions, or if he thinks, no, just the league.
Yeah. No, I mean, if and when that episode rolls around, we can always look back and see if there's been any developments on this one, but I mean, that'd be a good.
But do you agree with us? The rest of the Championship will be sort of
I think they'll be probably employing some slightly dodgy techniques of their own to make sure it doesn't happen. I think it could make for some quite funny material actually coming up.
Yeah.
So
so that's about it. So we've covered that. Has anybody been in touch? Do you know? Has everyone just been?
Yeah, we normally do that
lazy
at
Christmas time.
Yeah, we normally do that at the start. It has been quiet. You can tell there's been a public holiday going on. Our mate Jeff's been in touch as usual.
Good lad, Jeff.
Happy Christmas, lad. Show 7 was the funniest yet. 3 great belly busting laughs. Number 1 was your Brian Clough impression. Number 2, letting the mic run.
Man.
Yeah, that's the one. There you go. Bring that back out for the new year. Number 2, letting the mic run at the end of the show. That wasn't actually letting the mic run. That was an outtake. That was an edit from within the episode. If you listen back just near the end, I said he's filling his sack in at the minute, but then you carried on referring to how fat I'm getting. But that was like the outtake from that. But yeah, I think we had to include that because I've never seen you get so dizzy with laughing. To the point of not being able to breathe before. It was. I wasn't laughing at my own joke. It was looking at you struggling so hard not to laugh, and it just sent me over the edge.
Now and again, isn't it?
Sent me over the edge. And then also best for Jeff was you putting pressure on to the answer of the quiz with no thinking time whatsoever. He says it could have been a regular.
He studied it well, Jeff. I wonder what he got his good lady for Christmas.
I don't know.
Some earphones.
Bluetooth ones so they can all listen together. And then we also got a message from the Lake Poets, Marty himself, just saying I need to get this in my lugs. So I think he was planning on having a listen. It's been a busy time for him. Don't know if he managed it or not, but he was certainly planning on. So that was nice.
Yeah,
but like I say, it was
and just before we go,
quiet.
It was marvellous to have Vera back on the telly on Sunday night.
Oh, God. You love that show, don't you? I saw you tweeting Brenda Blethyn constantly through it, like.
And she liked it.
Did she? Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was thinking I might even get a Vera Mack in a hat and dress up like her on a Sunday night and tweet that, eh?
Right, yeah, we can absolutely do that, no problem.
That all sounds a bit strange.
Yeah, you're planning on cross-dressing on a weekend in advance.
Yeah, just on a weekend.
Hey, don't knock it till you've tried it. I'm not going to judge you, Dave.
Exactly. But I don't judge you with the landlady, so there we go. Yeah.
I think you clearly do anyway, not that there's anything to judge, but there we go. And so also, I just want to put a little message out there as well. Speaking about, the football kit, the 5 half-time football kit we were talking about last time. We have got a definite option of getting them made, but it's something we only want to do if it'll be worth it. So we're not asking for orders or anything like that, but if people would definitely be interested in it, just having it on out and about, just drop us a quick line and let us know. That's all it is, nothing more serious than that, but if it's something you would like.
Yep. And if you don't want to drop us a line about the strips, drop us a line about anything.
About
Get in
anything
touch.
at all, absolutely.
Do you like the show? Is it crap? You tell us.
Yeah, you tell us.
And if we see anybody trying to get into the studio with their wire cutters and binoculars and a spare set of clothes, we'll rumble you.
I've just thought, Dave, we're doing an episode about spying while you're not here for me to keep an eye on you. Where are you? I'm looking at the tree out in my front garden out the window. I'm thinking
we could have even claimed we've done this deliberately.
We could have done.
Just thought about it now.
That's just occurred. Yeah, that is very strange. I'm off to. No offence to you, but I am off to patrol my premises just to make sure. So
I'm off to the Derby County training ground. No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, so you say. But yeah, if you just get in touch, like Dave said, we're on Twitter @WinnerPod. You can find the website 10thewinner.com. We're on Facebook, that's facebook.com/10thewinner, and leave us a rating and review on iTunes if you can do, because that would be nice to get a few more ratings and reviews on there. We've not had too much recently over December, so New Year, let's get cracking on and get a few ratings and reviews. Can be honest, we obviously prefer 4 or 5 stars, but if you don't think we deserve it, then get in touch with us and let us know. We can take it. We're big enough and ugly enough to take it. Right, Dave.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough. I can't even argue with that. And so we'll hopefully be back next week with another episode to get us back on schedule. And Dave, I'm very much looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday evening for the Man City match.
Yes,
because we're
commentating
together. So I'll see you then. Thank you for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself.